Hi, it's Dan Gage back with a brand new video for December 2008. It's called I Just Received My First Harmonica as a Gift, What Do I Do Now? It's a common thing, folks. It's Christmas time here. Maybe it's Hanukkah, maybe it's your birthday. Somebody thought it would be a good idea to buy you a harmonica. So what happens is somebody gives you a present. It looks something like this. See that? And you don't really know what it is. It's a box. So you unwrap it, and you find yourself looking at this plastic box, and you say, okay, well, you still don't know what it is. It doesn't say harmonica on it. And you open it up, and there's a shiny new harmonica, right? Well, what do you do now? Well, if you get a lower end harmonica, like this one, the American Ace harmonica, for example. A lot of times the cheaper ones come in square boxes. It actually says this is a musical instrument, not a toy. But a lot of folks, think it's a toy. And that's okay. First plate, it looks like that, right? A little different, but it's a harmonica. Well, if you're like most people, the first thing you do is just sort of blow on it a little bit. Okay, most folks, most children will blow only on the harmonica, and it's good to point out that harmonicas have notes that play when you blow out air and when you breathe in air. So well, it'll sound more like this when you do it. Okay, that's the first place to start. You'll probably pick it up, you blow on it a little bit. The next thing you'll do, and we're going to pause the camera and I'll show you what most people do next. The next thing people usually do with their harmonica is they go to what is commonly called their junk drawer. Here's my junk drawer. And it's time to clean up after the holidays. They take their shiny new harmonica, they put it in the junk drawer, and it stays there for the next 4 or 5 years. So maybe you've decided not to put the harmonica in the junk drawer, or maybe you've just taken it out of the junk drawer, and that's why you're here on YouTube. You're thinking, well, maybe there's somebody out there that can help, and there really is. So we're talking about, having our first harmonica, and we got it, probably as a gift. We got it somewhere. Maybe it looks something like this, or maybe the box looks something like this, or maybe the box looks something like this. Right. If you've got a harmonica like this, the first place to start, maybe it's with a little insert. There's some very, very basic instruction on embouchure. Some very, very basic, usually a tune, something to start with. That's a good place to start. The internet is a great resource for the harmonica. A lot of videos out there. So let's see. So you pull your harmonica out. Let's talk about a lot of things people have had questions about. A lot of beginners, where the beginner video doesn't cover it. And there are a lot of beginner harmonica videos out there as well. Nomenclature. What are these terms that we're using when we talk about the harmonica? Well, let's start with the harmonica itself. Okay. First thing you'll notice, and this is an old one we're going to take apart, but most harmonicas, I think pretty much all of them do, they have numbers that designate which hole. Can you see those numbers? Okay. If you orientate the harmonica so that the numbers are facing you, oftentimes 1 is to the left, your left, and 10 is to the right. Okay. Those numbers help you understand what's called harmonica tablature. Now, tablature is shortened to mean tab. It basically is music by numbers. Somebody will say, play number 3, play number 5, play number 6, and then they'll tell you whether you should blow air out or draw air in. Everybody has a different system. I use B for blow and D for draw. Some people use a circle to make draw notes, and some people use dark font versus outline font. You know, once you understand the pattern, basically what they're telling you is do this and you will be able to make some music out of it. So harmonica tab, search that online and you can learn a lot of very basic songs, even some complicated tunes once you get a little more into it, but it's like paint by numbers. Okay, so we're talking about the harmonica. So when I talk about the numbers, okay, what are these things called, right? Let's get really basic here, and what are these things named? Well, these guys here, they're called holes. All right, they're holes that are built into what is called the comb. Okay, now this black thing, right? That's the comb of the harmonica. It can be made out of wood or plastic or metal. Now these guys here, you see them? There's some on each side. Okay, call those reeds. Harmonica is a free reed instrument, so air goes through the hole. My light's not very good there. Okay, and it makes these reeds vibrate. And they go up and down and they vibrate when you play, and that's what makes the sound. And they're different lengths, so the different lengths produce different notes, and they can be tuned sharper or flatter. It's easier to tune them flatter, but they're filed down to be tuned, and that's what's the harmonica. Now these guys are called cover plates. Okay, and now a key thing about the cover plates was we talked about the numbers, which tell you what hole you're on, but also the key of the harmonica. So on most harmonicas, on the upper right hand corner, if you have the numbers facing you, can you see that? There is a key designation telling you what musical key this harmonica is tuned to. Right? Oftentimes, the box itself will have a sticker on it. This is a B flat, telling you what key. This is a D, same box. They only want to make one box. They put different stickers on them. Even this little guy has a sticker that lets you know it's in the key of C. Most folks will be getting a C harmonica to start with. But it really doesn't matter what key harmonica you get. The C harmonica makes it easier because a lot of material has been produced using a C harmonica for instruction. But if you get a D or a G, I mean, the best thing to do is just get used to it. So we've learned about what the things are called, right? We know what cover plates. We know how to find the key of the harmonica. That's really important. A lot of folks don't know where that is, but it's stamped on there. We know that we're looking at that 10-hole, and then we're talking about the 10-hole diatonic. If you get a different harmonica, a 15-hole, you get these big harmonicas. That's not exactly what I teach to. This is called a diatonic harmonica, and it's what a lot of folks use for blues and folk and rock and roll, and so it's a little different. It's its own instrument. It's very specific. And look that up. If you're online, you probably have the capacity to do some searches. So if you're going to be searching, search for harmonica lessons, search for harmonica tablature, and you can find a ton of information out there. Another thing I want to point out is there are a lot of very good lessons on YouTube, and there's some that aren't really that great. I won't list any ones that I don't particularly care for, but I'll list the ones that I think are excellent. You should look for material by John Gindick, material by Ronnie Shellist, material by Adam Gussow. These are some of my favorites, and John Gindick. David Barrett as well. Very excellent instructors in the harmonica world. And John Gindick especially is very famous for having written some very basic books that help people get started. And if your harmonica came with a book, start there. You know, try to figure it out and use it, because you know, a lot of these things are written to be very, very basic for folks. So we've got our harmonica. We know what it's called. We know what things are called. We know that, according to the folks at Hohner, this instrument is not a toy. Can you see that? It's not a toy, people. It can be a toy, though. It's fun. It's fun to play with. But it also is a very serious musical instrument with a lot of potential to entertain yourself, entertain others, to play tunes, to play the blues, to play folk music. Really, it's up to you what you want to do with it. So I recommend that you go to perhaps my beginner harmonica lesson, or Jason Ritchie's beginner harmonica lesson, or Adam Gussow's one of his early lessons, or Ronnie Schellist, or John Gindick's book, and start there, and really, as much as you want to do, you can put it back in the drawer if you want. There's no shame in that. I've got a guitar that I've played about once a month, because I'm a harmonica player, folks, and go from there, really. So I got a harmonica for Christmas, I got it for Hanukkah, I got it for my birthday, I got it just because somebody loved me, and I want to learn to play. So thank you folks for watching. Send me a note if you have any questions, but take the harmonica out of the drawer and give it a shot. Alright folks, see you next time.